Hi everyone, Dr. Shook here, and today what I want to talk about is how PCOS or polycystic ovarian syndrome can trigger Hashimoto's. Now we know that PCOS is the most common female hormone disorder in the United States. It affects about 4 to 10% of the population, and it is associated with insulin resistance. So you can typically detect PCOS on labs. The way that we would look at it is we would see if the fasting glucose is over 100, if the triglycerides and the cholesterol are elevated, and especially, you would suspect PCOS if triglycerides are higher than cholesterol. Okay, those are very common patterns because one of the things that occurs is with PCOS, you develop cysts on the ovaries, and the cysts end up producing excessive amounts of testosterone. And the testosterone, what that will do is that will promote insulin resistance, and that's where insulin resistance is a state where you have a buildup of blood sugar in the bloodstream, and the cells of your body become resistant to insulin. And insulin's job is to stimulate the cell to pull the blood sugar out of the bloodstream and into the cell to be used for energy. Okay, so insulin resistance is where your insulin does not stimulate the cells to pull the blood sugar out of the bloodstream and into the cell anymore, because the cells have just been flooded and bathed in insulin typically due to a high carbohydrate diet and high prolonged levels of high blood sugar. So it makes your cells insulin resistant. Okay. Now PCOS, you have an increased production of testosterone. The testosterone further promotes insulin resistance, and it's this vicious cycle that occurs. So what you'll typically see is that there will be issues with like hair falling out. You'll see you see problems with fatigue after meals, hormone imbalances. You'll see things like sugar cravings. I mean, all the things that you would commonly associate with like prediabetes or metabolic syndrome. It can be actually related to PCOS. And the interesting thing is that these high levels of blood sugar and insulin, what they do is they upregulate an enzyme called 1720 lyase. And 1720 lyase in the ovaries, what it will do is that will basically cause the formation of these cysts, and these cysts will upregulate the production of your androgens. So you'll make more of your your male sex hormones like testosterone. And so that's where this all comes from. So it's one of these things where we know that that PCOS can trigger autoimmunity, and one of the mechanisms is through high blood sugar and high insulin, which is inflammatory. Then that inflammatory process can actually promote autoimmune disease. So when we look at these problems, we have to try to figure out, you just have to realize that everything's connected. And that's going to be one of the most critical things in recovery, is understanding that, sometimes when we just look at an individual laboratory marker and we try to just look at it in isolation, it can be very misleading as to what might be the best course of action for you. And so, what we try to do and what I try to do in practice is try to help people look at all the pieces of the puzzle, at all these different aspects of their body chemistry, and help them figure out how they can make, typically our goal is to use dietary and temporary nutritional supplementation interventions to help support healing of the body so that they can return to a more optimal state of chemistry and just be healthier. And so that's really what we're trying to do. And so things like PCOS come up a lot. There's a lot of people affected by it. It creates lots of problems for a lot of people, and it's something that I want to talk about today. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in to check this out. If you have any questions or you need anything, just let us know. Remember, if you need information on labs, we've got like a great place to start the 9 tests required to understand your thyroid. It's one of our guidebooks. If you need to know about that or you want more information, just ask us below, and I'll have one of my staff post a link so you can go and get more information about getting that guidebook. If you're interested in diet and lifestyle approaches to help with Hashimoto's or autoimmune disease or blood sugar regulation, then we have a great program, and you can hop on a webinar and check that out. If you're interested in maybe joining that group, we have a group of people that are going through that program now. And if you have any other needs, just let us know. Remember, I work with people via distance consulting all across the United States and in other countries. We can typically get lab work and labs done for you just about in any location. it becomes harder outside the country. And then a few of the states in the US, we can have some issues as far as getting labs, but we can help most people and definitely try to help you figure out what's going on so you can kind of unravel this mess, these metabolic problems that are causing you to feel the way that you do. We'll do everything we can to help you out, but I appreciate you guys again, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thanks.